All right, so with that, we're setting the stage now for what we call it as a talk show. We, in fact, had Mr. Mukesh Kumar spearheading the previous session, but now he'll be taking on the ante of a speaker over here. This is going to be more of his role from the Shopping Centers Association of India perspective. So we're going to have, once again, Mr. Mukesh Kumar, and to spearhead this particular talk show, we have with us Rajat Wahi, partner Deloitte India. So if I could please invite, once again, Mr. Rajat Wahi and Mr. Mukesh Kumar to please come on stage. Mr. Wahi, let's also have you on the stage. And I know our previous session was about factory outlets and discounts, but let's not discount on the applause. Let's keep applauding and let's hear it for all of our speakers. That's right. Thank you so much from this corner and the others. Hello, sir. And with that, I'm going to hand over the session to Mr. Rajat Wahi. Over to you again, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for the introduction. I think Mukesh has just done a very good session. Interesting to see outlet malls, not really such a big thing in a shopping conscious and price conscious country like India. But I think there is definitely a future in that, given how much time we all spend when we go abroad on outlet malls. But Mukesh, just going to come to this interesting discussion on shopping centers. And if I just look at the growth of shopping centers in India today, it's gone from some 3 shopping centers in the year 2000 to about 529 now. If you just go to the next slide. Next slide, please. So if I just look at some of the data here, in terms of India, the overall story of shopping centers, roughly about 1.8 lakh crore in terms of annual revenue, 31,500 crores of net annual GST collections, 1 lakh crore investments in assets across all the malls in the country, looking at 27,000 crores of further investment plan, going from about 95 million square feet with another 20 million square feet to be added in the next 2 to 3 years. So it's a great story in terms of how the overall shopping centers have continued to grow in India. More and more Indians are shopping in shopping centers. I think about 29% or 30%, 25% of sales in modern retail is coming from shopping centers, up from some 12 or 13% 5 years ago. While the total retail is expected to grow from about $850 billion to about $1.3, $1.4 trillion by 2025. So if at that level, it'll be almost a fifth of the total GDP of India. So Mukesh, just coming to you on that, talk briefly about what's driving the evolution of shopping centers and what's been the real story about that. And then we'll get into a few more questions on what is the support that the industry needs from the government to really make it easy.
Rajat, before we get into this, let me first thank Mapik, Ashna, and Rima for giving this opportunity of this window to present this. I won't really say a report, but a little bit about the shopping center. And it's an amazing story. It needs to be told. In fact, when few of us are sitting together, the shopping center CEOs are talking about it, I says, we didn't know we are so big. And we didn't know we are bigger than the airline industry or the tourism industry. Unfortunately, the shopping center doesn't have a nodal ministry. Unlike tourism or aviation, they have a separate ministry for themselves, but we don't have one. So this is a story which is a great success story for any trade, any business you talk about in India. In last 20 years, we have grown from 2 million square feet to almost 100 million square feet. And next 3 years now, 20 million square feet. Look at the investment that is made. Look at the amount that is being invested in the business, and they're generating so much employment. So idea to present this to all of you that we must talk about this, how we have grown, how the developers have put their interest in this retail business, which was non-existent just a couple of decades ago. So there are aspiring customers. There are people, they want to shop in the mall. They want to move away from the high street because of the many factors. It's the experience what they get in the mall, the facility what they get in the mall, the hygiene, safety, parking, everything under one roof. You have entertainment. So the business was completely non-existent before the malls came into being. If you look at FEC, it was never there. We had hardly a couple of centers which is outside the city. But when the malls started getting built, you start getting all of them. Multiplexes. They had any multiplexes when the malls started coming. So I think it's a group of all the retailers, business houses, and the categories. They started putting money back in the mall. They said, this is the business, this is the center which is going to grow in future. And that's what you can see the result here. In last 10, 15 years, the way we have grown. First 3-4 years a little slow. I would say till 2005-6 it was pretty slow, but from 2005-6 it picked up rapidly. And last 7-8 years it's grown multiple times, and next 3-4 is going to be very, very big.
And typically, just explain to us when you have to open a new mall today in any big city or even a tier 2 city, what are some of the big challenges that you see when you have to open a mall today, the top 4 or 5? And what are some of the, and okay, I'll come to the next point around, working with the government on that.
See, to lead time to open a mall, I think there are some developers sitting here, is anywhere between 4 to 6 years. And out of that, 30-40% time is taken to get your approvals. It's a very cumbersome process to run to different authorities. You have environmental clearance, your PCB, your fire, or the local authorities, your RTOs, your COPs. So I think there are many approvals licenses what you require before you start doing the construction. Your due diligence, getting FSI clearances, clearance from the airport authorities, all the very cumbersome process. So, what do you like the authority with the center, state, local authorities that make it simpler so that we can build them all faster, which will reduce capital investment. Look any other country, look at country like China, you have Singapore. I think they build them all in 18 months or maybe 24 months because things are very easy to get licenses there. And if we can put a heart to build them all faster, have more manpower, have the resources on our hand, but there's something you can't control is the approvals and licenses. So that's one thing we would like to work with the government authority, that how this sector is contributing so much to the economy. Why didn't you give us helping hand here?
And typically, if you compare that to a country like China, that would be about half the time in terms of opening a mall and getting it.
Less than half a time, less than half. I mean, they build a mall in 18 months. A million square feet is 18 months, maybe 12 months, because approvals it just comes within a few days, a few weeks.
But given that a lot of the rules are very state-oriented, are any states working towards a single window clearance for malls, or is it still complicated across all the states from that perspective?
See, as a state body, Shopping Center Association of India, we have been working with the various governments. We have reached out a lot of them. Things are getting simpler, but it's taking much longer. So I think you need to have joint effort with the center as well as the state government at how to make it move faster. Because we have seen the results here, how we can grow much faster. Please understand, once the malls are growing, consumption is going up. That means also helping the manufacturing, is creating employment. The entire area is getting developed. It's not just about a shopping center. Today, most of people develop, they want to do a mixed use because they know retail adds a lot of value to the entire real estate there, the township there. It adds a lot of value. So I think very important for government to understand. So that's why we're trying to work with the government and trying to pitch that we must have a separate ministry.
And just from in terms of foreign investment coming in, have the FDI rules been sort of loosened up in terms of investment in malls, especially through various REITs, etc.? Are you finding that easier, or how does that work?
I don't think that's been a tough part. I think investments are coming in, but they see this India, the business growing. They would like to invest more money if there's a potential. If you look at Blackstone, your GIC, your CPF, Canadian Pension Fund, they're all investing money. There are many fund houses lined up to invest money in India, provided we're able to build those infrastructure, build those malls. So capital is not an issue.
And last sort of question, just the future of retailing today, maybe only 8 or 10% of Indian total retail is in modern retail. If you fast forward that 10 years, malls itself contributing to almost 29%, but how much do you think, can this 20 million which is being planned, can that be expanded to 30, 40, 50 million, especially with highways and overall infrastructure improving? Do you see that going faster?
So we just talked about the outlet mall. That's another engine for growth. This is one thing we have not really touched so far. So this is one which is going to develop. Besides airport retail is already there. We are looking at these outlet malls. And I think today, if you look at development from different developers, they're very bullish about it. Almost everybody's got few more, they want to add more. So I can see this 20 million in next 3 years can go to 50 million next 3 years time from there.
Okay, thank you. So I think that's all. Any other comments from your side?
No, I think we just need to work together. I think all the shopping centers, we have to work together that with the state government and central government and impress upon them how important we are for the economy as a sector.
And also these events help a lot in terms of explaining to people the role that, that malls and retail is playing in our lives. We all go to the malls, we actually forget all the infrastructure and effort and everything behind running these. But big thanks to the MAPIC team for hosting us and for the opportunity to speak on this, and look forward to more participation in the future.
Thank you for putting this together.